Everyone is talking about our next guest. 14-year-old Jennings has just been named one of the faces of Clean and Clear's newest ad campaign. What makes this so remarkable is that a transgender person is promoting a product that basically every teenager uses. If you're not familiar with Jazz's story, here's a little background.
Even at a very young age, Jazz Jennings felt trapped. She was assigned male at birth, but she always knew she was a girl. At 16 months, she loved dressing up and all things girly. By 3, doctors confirmed what her parents already suspected. Jazz had gender dysphoria. Wanting their daughter to be happy, they supported her, and when Jazz was just 5, she began living as a she instead of a he. Now 14, Jazz is one of the youngest people ever to transition from one sex to the other. And she's a children's author and vocal activist for transgender youths. A trailblazer who wants to encourage everyone to be brave enough to be themselves.
That means a lot. It's making me emotional. I don't know about you, but that's making me emotional. That means a great deal to Jazz because right before the segment started, she said that she was excited to be here but nervous. It's very brave to talk about this, and you've been talking about it for a long time, and you got the reaction of people that people are so proud of you for being who you are and for helping other people. And she was just named one of Time Magazine's most influential teens. Jazz, welcome to the show.
I'm happy to be here.
I'm glad to have you here. You were 2 years old when you realized that there was a girl living in a boy's body, essentially. Why did you say, that's such an early age to understand that? Do you remember that moment and what you said to your parents?
Well, I didn't say that I just wanted to be a girl. I said that I was a girl, and I knew who I was on the inside and made sure I defined it. When I was 2 years old, I said that when is the good fairy going to take her wand and change my body parts? So that was one of those defining moments where my parents knew that I was different and that they had to help me become the girl that I knew I was inside.
Did your parents have a moment, and I think it would be absolutely normal to step back and go, well, no, Jazz, you think that, but we're just going to continue to raise you as a boy, and that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, well, at first they did think it was a phase, so they continued to make me dress like a boy. I would say, I'm not going to leave this house unless I could dress like a girl. And they weren't really sure what to do. So when I was 3 years old, I went to the doctor, and I was diagnosed with what's now called gender dysphoria. And that was really the turning point where I was able to progress and start wearing girl clothes and become the girl that I was.
And for your parents to accept it and want to help you through that process. You did your first public interview at 6 years old. 6 years old, and you were an inspiration for so many kids, yet to this day, you still get bullied.
There are sometimes kids who talk behind my back or say some mean things. A lot of boys avoid me, or sometimes they, could be really rude and make me feel excluded. And I just have to keep moving forward and not care what they think. If I stay strong and I be myself, then their opinion doesn't matter at all. And that's what I do every day.
I did not know this. There's a shocking statistic. The prevalence of suicide attempts in the transgender community is 41%. Tried to kill themselves, compared with 4.6% rest of the population. Has anyone ever reached out to you for support who has felt this kind of despair?
A lot of times I get messages from kids who are struggling, and sometimes they say they walk in front of a street full of cars, or they're about to jump out of a window, and they say the reason why they didn't do it was because of Jazz. And that's why I keep sharing my story, because I know I'm making a difference and creating change and helping those kids.
What do you say to those kids?
I tell them to stay strong and love themselves no matter what, because if they stay positive, things will get better.
Jazz, I'm sure there'll be some people out there that are going to want to know whether or not maybe you were too young to know.
Well, what I say to that is that they don't define me, I define myself. I know what's going on inside, not them.
I know that you definitely know yourself. There's no doubt the confidence in you. I know you're hoping to reach a lot more people with this Clean and Clear campaign. It's called See the Real Me, and we have a clip from that. Let's take a look.
I've always known exactly who I am. I was a girl trapped in a boy's body. Growing up has been quite a struggle being transgender, especially in middle school. Some kids greet each other with hugs and then just give me a high. And sometimes I've even been called an it. So I basically kept to myself. But this year I decided to make a change and put myself out there and make new friends. For the first time, I invited girls over to the house. We started hanging out more, and it was just a great time for me, and it still is. The real me is happy and proud to be who I am. And I'm just having fun being one of the girls. I'm Jazz, see the real me.
Jazz, that is a message for any girl, transgender, whatever. It's clearly about be yourself. What has it meant on a personal level to be asked to be part of this campaign?
Well, the See the Real Me campaign is about girls finding the courage to be their true selves. I was able to find myself and be who I was.